A large-scale special operation against illegal migration is underway in Poland. As a result, 91 Ukrainian citizens received orders for forced deportation. On March 23rd, more than 27,000 police and border guard officers conducted 1,800 inspections at places where migrants live and work across the country. In total, more than 140 foreigners were detained, and most of them are Ukrainians. Even elite cybercrime units took part in the raids. The main reasons for deportation were expired visas, illegal employment, and violations of public order. For those detained, this means the annulment of their right to stay, forced escort to the border, and a ban on entering the Schengen zone for up to 5 years. In Poland, the special law on assistance to Ukrainians is officially coming to an end. The country is switching to new systematic rules for the residence and employment of refugees. These changes will affect 1.5 million people. Temporary protection under PESEL UKR has been extended until March 4, 2027, but the rules have become significantly stricter. Those who previously obtained status without a foreign passport must verify their data by August 31, 2026, otherwise their stay will become illegal. The main innovation is the SI UKR card. This is a residence permit valid for 3 years. Ukrainians who have continuously held UKR status for at least 365 days will be able to obtain it. It grants full access to the labor market and the right to conduct business. I will ask Vasyl Voskoboynik, head of the Migration Policy Office and president of the All-Ukrainian Association of International Employment Companies, more about the reduction of aid and, in general, about the life of Ukrainians abroad, trends, work, lifestyle, and privileges. Greetings, Mr. Vasyl.
Greetings to you. Greetings to the studio and to your viewers.
Tell us, what immediate consequences should we expect after March 5th, and for which groups of the population could the loss of special benefits become a painful blow?
In fact, unlike Germany, Poland has focused on the maximum social integration of Ukrainians, aiming for them to find employment there, to work officially, to pay taxes, and thus to become part of Polish society, part of the Polish economy, and I emphasize the legal economy. In fact, for those who worked legally and officially, nothing will change. They will still be able to receive social assistance. Their children will also be able to attend local schools, and they can likewise look for ways to realize themselves, from employment to starting their own small or conversely medium or large business. In fact, Poland is encouraging people to become as deeply involved as possible in the Polish economy and in the life of the Polish state.
So what will actually happen now with this PESEL UKR document? Does its holder automatically lose the right to legal stay, work, medical assistance, and social benefits?
No, that's not the case. In fact, all the documents that were previously issued and officially valid, if people don't manage to renew them in time, they remain valid. Residence permits and work visas continue to be in effect. And even if a person simply entered with a biometric passport for a period of up to 90 days and wasn't able to obtain any additional documents, they can remain in Poland until March 4th, 2027. In actual fact, the primary and most essential requirement for Ukrainians is that they must actually either be employed in a job or be enrolled in a course of study while living in Poland.
Mr. Vasyl Radosław Sikorski stated that in 2024, Ukrainians contributed 100 billion zlotys to Poland's GDP. Then why is the Polish government cancelling benefits for people who are actually funding their healthcare and budget?
In reality, benefits are being cancelled for those who do not work and do not pay taxes. They are being cancelled for those who do not send their children to study in Polish educational institutions. For all those Ukrainians who are officially employed, those who pay contributions to the local social insurance fund called ZUS, and last year there were almost 865,000 such people, they all received the same benefits as the local population.
Understood. For years, Poland has been the main hub for our refugees. Do you now see the beginning of a mass departure of Ukrainians from Poland further to the west?
In reality, well, let's put it this way, due to the fact that politicians very often use in their political games, because I have no other word for it, the Ukrainian card specifically to attract the attention of potential voters and to blame Ukrainians for problems that exist in any country, they are trying, well, let's say, to create a rather uncomfortable situation for Ukrainians. But you pointed out very correctly that over the past year, almost 100 billion zlotys, which is the combined budget of the Ministry of Health and the Ministry of Education in Poland, were involved, meaning this is an enormous amount of money. And when politicians claim that Ukrainians somehow interfere with them or with Polish citizens, nevertheless, responsible businesses that have already conducted research have found that nearly 650,000 Ukrainians potentially want to leave Poland and go either to the Czech Republic or to Germany. And this is already causing serious concern among businesses. Why? Because these are workers, these are consumers of goods and services, these are taxpayers. These are the people who actually drive Poland's economy nowadays.
You mentioned the number of Ukrainians who are moving further west. But is there any information about the number of Ukrainians who are actually returning home from Poland?
Unfortunately, that's a very difficult question. Why? Well, first and foremost, we need to clearly understand that until the security situation in our country is resolved, there is simply no reason to expect a mass return of Ukrainians to their homeland. And that's why over the past year, nearly 400,000 more Ukrainians left Ukraine. Some of them, including, entered Poland.
Mr. Vasil, I have another question. We see a paradox. On the one hand, Ukrainians bring billions in profits to the Polish economy and assimilate faster than any other group of migrants. Also, according to the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, Ukrainians have the highest employment rate among all refugee groups in the EU. On the other hand, we hear about fatigue and the cancellation of benefits. Why doesn't the economic benefit from us outweigh the social fatigue, and not only among Poles?
Again, this is more of a political issue than an economic one, because no matter what, in every country, politicians will look after the interests of their own citizens and will care about those who could potentially vote for them. And they need something to stand out with. And that's why in Poland, in the Czech Republic, and in Germany, there are parties that claim Ukrainians are just social dependents. These are people who only consume and do not contribute any benefit. Because if we talk about the benefits brought by foreigners, well, somehow, let's say, they need to be put on the same level as Poles, as voters, as Czech voters, or as German voters. And that's why this card will be played constantly. And people who choose to live abroad should always keep this in mind.